Hi everyone, it's Reese Barrick again here with a new way to museum at the Sternberg Museum of Natural History. One of the ways that museums expand offerings for everyone is to bring in traveling exhibits. And what we've done here is we've brought in a traveling exhibit from Silver Plume Exhibitions. And if you really like this and you have a museum in your town, you might want to talk to them about maybe bringing this exhibit to your town. Today we're talking about the dodo, and the dodo is a beautiful little bird here, rather goofy looking, and he gets a bit of a bad rap about not being a very smart bird. Well, there's a reason. Dodos lived on the island of Mauritius off of Africa, and what's really interesting is that animals that live on islands generally get to a place where there's not a lot of other animals and plants. So they don't have a lot of predators. And so the dodo, it's a bird, you see it's got very small wings. It evolved on the island to not need to fly. And it didn't have any predators, so it was not very scared of anything that showed up. And because islands are pretty small, populations can get big very rapidly. So dodos basically laid only one egg in their nest each year. So that sort of helped the population stay fairly low. So what's interesting is that islands are unique ecosystems, and the reality is the bulk of extinctions over the last 300 years of animals on the planet have been extinctions on islands. And the dodo is just the perfect example of that. So in 1598, there was the first ships from Spain that were looking for through the East Indies, and they happened upon Mauritius, and they came upon these dodo birds. Well, they're kind of big and fat, and they weren't afraid of anything because they didn't have any natural predators. So they were easy to walk up to, pick up, smack them on the head. They could take them on the ship. They were easy for food, even though it sounds like they weren't very tasty. They didn't taste very good. It was a very easy meat source for any ships that happened to be going through. And so that could be one problem for dodos, but that wasn't really the only or the main problem. Things tend to jump onto ships along with humans when they're sailing around the world. And this included rats. They brought pigs for meat, and that would escape off onto the islands, and monkeys. And these things ate eggs. And so the dodos weren't used to hiding their nests, so their eggs were very easy to find and eat for new predators that dodos had never faced before. So amazingly, the last dodo was seen in 1681. So within 83 years, dodos had gone from a flourishing population to being extinct. And so this really is a type of human-caused extinction. It wasn't humans that killed them all, like passenger pigeons, which humans hunted to extinction. This was really a case where when you bring in exotic animals, exotic to the islands, they will tend to really disrupt the habitats and can cause major extinctions. Because islands are very sort of narrow ecosystems, and they're easy to disrupt. Diseases, anything that can come and cause a disease to animals on an island can cause an extinction very rapidly because there's not populations over a wide area. So it's kind of a sad case, but very common on a lot of islands that you get animals that evolve and adapt to those islands, and anytime there's a chance for other animals to be brought in, they will cause disruptions and can cause extinctions. And so this is sort of the sad case of the dodo. And the interesting thing is there's not many of these things that were brought to Europe that were ever preserved. So there's not a lot of preserved dodos in the world, and that makes it even sadder. But they were really kind of clever, interesting birds. Maybe not so much clever, but very interesting birds. And it's a sad case of what we as humans have to do to take care of our biodiversity is to take care of our islands. And It's also kind of a fascinating thing that sometimes we can, even on our continents, create islands. It's sort of the things that we do with our rainforests that get chopped down for agriculture. We create little islands of forest as opposed to large continuous forests, which makes all the animals all of a sudden living on little islands, which makes a lot of animals on continents tend to be susceptible to extinction. So the case of the dodo is really a case for we as humans to be cautious in how we treat our environment, especially islands. Now, if you had fun and you liked this video, please like and subscribe, and join us again next week on A New Way to Museum. Thanks for joining us in A New Way to Museum with the Sternberg Museum of Natural History. If you enjoyed this video, like it and subscribe to our channel. Hit the bell for notifications when we release a new video. Support us on Patreon for early access and exclusive content. You can also follow us on all our social media. Links are found in the description. Thanks for watching, and follow your curiosity to new discoveries.